us, and then we see how to make known to the masses what you're doing, how you do it, how best it is, and what makes you stand out of all the competitors. We are 4TV. Well, I'm back again. It's been a week since we last jazzed about health. Last weekend we were discussing HIV, and today we are here again to discuss health. Today, I want to share with you about two related phenomena. We've been having so many
TV, I am the man that you call for a killing. Top shotter if you know what I'm meaning. Blessings follow me in abundance. Your greetings, massive. How you doing? Then call me Titan. Remember, say you're watching 4TV. Keep it locked.
Call for a killing. Top shotter if you know what I'm meaning.
Okutaga n'okucanda buhingana mulago sanga wakole choina kukola ekibiri kinu kitaka kwehindulire envire yo kibirundi kirungi alitebera mufairo mazire kuzima ekibiri kinu ekitute kibikirungi ndahura naitabu bakuba n'olya n'onywa n'odigida kumanya ekifamula indaho rukizi rukuwale echakurora ekibiri kino usase echakumanya ekibiri kino ekitutuire kibikirungi ndahura naitabu bakuba n'olya n'onywa n'odigida echakurora mawemba indaho mutima kusase echakumanya ekibiri kinu tikirukuraganisha guno kwanyinja urunditwe hagati omutegeka zawe nororaho uri habutaka nohinga batayisangwa wakole choina gukora ekibiri kinu kitaka kwehindulire imvire yo kibirundi kirungi alikebera mufairo mazire kuzima ekibiri kirungi ndahura naye ekibiri kino bamubana olya n'onywa n'odigida kumanya ekifamulago lindaho kurora ekino kugamba lindaho mutima kukusase lindaho kumanya ekino kugamba mukago ekibiri kino ekitutuire ekibiri kino yanonga n'odigida kumanya ekifamulago digida echakurora ekino kugamba lindaho mutima kukusase lindaho kumanya ekino kugamba Mwerinde, oh, embora tembanyako okumanya lindaho lugizi lutwale etakurora
Sorry, and we are indeed very sorry for that technical glitch. We had a very technical glitch, and we are back. We hope you bear with us. So like I said, today we are going to also discuss health again. And today the major discussion, our discussion is going to center on one thing. Why is it that we are dying young? Africans, mostly Ugandans, where we are now, this jurisdiction of Uganda. Why are we dying young? Why should we die young? That is what we want to center on most. If you want to know that we are indeed dying young, just look at the figures of the recently concluded population census. Only 2.15% of Ugandans are above 65 years of age. Only 2.15, okay, let's say 2%. Let me not give you the decimals. The decimals will disturb you. Some of you failed math. Some of you failed mathematics. So decimals, fractions, and stuff like that disturb you so much. So let's know why Ugandans, Africans die so young. You very well know that we are not supposed to die young. I think it's logical. Without even quoting the Bible, without even quoting what, you know that if a person dies when they're below 60, that person is young. What have you seen? 60 years and above, that's when you're starting to enjoy life. But man, we are dying. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. But there is something I first want to talk about before I go to the major discussion of today. You know, we've been having an epidemic of monkeypox. We've been dealing with monkeypox. Now monkeypox has gone, there has come Ebola. We've also heard that it could be going or stuff like that. So I just wanted to first give a brief about Ebola virus. Then I proceed to what is today's major discussion. Like I told you, we're going to discuss why are we dying young? Why does God call Africans or Ugandans young? Man, Ebola virus. Ebola, medics or scientists refer to it as a hemorrhagic. Don't get scared. I will translate that word, hemorrhagic fever. Omuswija ogukuletera nojwa esagama kuruga mubuli kahuruko mubiri gwonna. Nojwa esagama mu nyindo, mu matu, mu kanwa, mu kibunu, buli kahuruko nojwa esagama. Egni Ebola. And we've been having that epidemic for the past few weeks. Now we've been told that a few people have died. We've had a nurse dying. We've had other medics also suffering from the same, and so many people also have been quarantined, but they have also been declared. 9 of them, according to the Ministry of Health, we've been told that they are also getting okay. They are recuperating or recovering, for that matter. I've been accused of using hard English, so I try to always use words, but when they are hard, I also get to know that I have to translate some. So, but you will forgive me for that. My intention is not to confuse you, and it can never be to confuse you. My intention is to communicate, but sometimes I communicate with words the way I interact with them. Maybe the literature that I read and stuff like that. So if I use any word that you don't understand, kindly bear with me, but I will be trying to translate a few words that I think are confusing you, my audience. I do this for you. I don't do it for myself. So my intention cannot be to confuse you. My intention is you to understand and improve. That's why I'm here speaking. That's why I live wherever I am, wherever I be, to come here and speak a few things. Now, for the sake of time, because we started a little bit late and we are in a cutthroat race against time, I will not discuss much about what Ebola is, but I've told you what that's the definition. I want to go to things like how you can avoid it. How do you know this is Ebola? How do you know that this is Ebola? That is a very, 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 very disturbing question to answer, because Ebola presents in most cases as normal disease. Normal disease, I mean, it presents like almost all the diseases we know. It presents, there is a way it camouflages other illnesses like malaria, typhoid, respiratory illnesses, other things. So there are no distinct features of Ebola, especially when it's beginning in the first 90 days. From the 3rd day up to the 90th day, when Ebola is with someone, you may not tell that this is Ebola because signs are vague. That's the point I'm trying to mean. But what are those signs? A fever, a sore throat, which you call tonsillitis. Some of you call it tonsils, but medics like calling it tonsillitis. Inflammation of the tonsils. So you get something like a sore throat. When you get a sore throat, a cough, a fever, a headache, pain, body pain all over the place, those are the vague signs I'm talking about. But once those signs come in, they test for normal illnesses or common illnesses, and they don't get any. Chances are high you could be dealing with Ebola. And what to do in that scenario is to reach the nearby healthcare facility for further assessment and management by specialized or trained, licensed and trained, because there are two things. You can be trained but not licensed. In medical practice, if you're trained and not licensed, you don't practice. Training is not enough. You should also be licensed. So, so to go to the medical school and you come out is not enough. If you go to medical school, you also have to be trained. So when you get those illness signs that are vague and test do not reveal any illnesses, the common ones that we know, chances are high in this kind of situation where we have an outbreak of Ebola, you could be suffering from Ebola virus. Like I told you, Ebola is a hemorrhagic fever or a hemorrhagic disease. It causes bleeding from all body orifices. Orifices means openings, body openings, all body openings. Blood comes out all over the place. But sadly is that the bleeding sign is the last one to come, especially at the 90th day. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? So when you have been suffering with all these other symptoms, bleeding comes later. Bleeding comes quite late. But one other thing that I want to caution the general public is that stop saying this is a scam. This is not a scam. These diseases really exist. Actually, if you're not careful, you may be the one to get it. So the better question could be, and I'm not saying is, but could be, the better question could be, why are they concentrated on our continent? Because if you look at most of the strains of Ebola, there are around 6 strains of Ebola. The first strain was Roston, which was discovered in Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire is Ivory Coast, in Ivory Coast, West African nation. Now, it was followed by Thai. Thai was also discovered from that forest in Cote d'Ivoire. So, all these strains are on the continent. They are not in other continents, but They are here. They could also be there, happening there, but not so often, not more prevalent like they are in this continent. So we also have the Zaire strain of Ebola that was discovered in the forests of Congo. Then we also had the strain, the Wundubujo strain in Wundubujo here. Then we have another strain which is in the bats, but we are not so sure whether it causes illnesses in humans, and that is the Bombali strain. So do not say these strains or Ebola as a whole is a scam. No, it's not a scam, my friend. Ebola is real. And when you say it's a scam, you actually insult us. As medics, we get insulted. As medics, we get insulted because some of our colleagues have died. And even relatives. So maybe you may need to first suffer from this, and then you know that actually these things are real. But like I said, the better question could be, why are they concentrated on the African continent? Why can't we have an Ebola outbreak in Germany? Why can't we have an Ebola outbreak in America? Why can't we have an Ebola outbreak in the United Kingdom? And if we're to have, can it be as strange, as, let me say, as violent as it happens here, as scaring, as dangerous in normal language, as dangerous, as scary as it always happens here? So that's it. But also what you also need to know about Ebola is that what are the things? How is it transmitted? I think that is also a better thing to know for most of us. So, Ebola contacts. You get into contact with someone who has Ebola, you get the disease. Coughing into that person, touching them, open cut wounds where someone has bled or anything like that, saliva, sweat. But even sex. So, but actually like monkeypox as well. We've been in that pandemic. I don't want to go into monkeypox. I want to concentrate myself on Ebola, then I go to the real topic of today. So, monkeypox, Ebola can also be transmitted via sexual intercourse. If you have sex with a person who is having Ebola, man or woman, chances are high you are fetching something called a hemorrhagic fever. Some of us tuenda kusiba inyama, umuntu nawina akaswija kamurukubi nuhambiriza. You can't control yourself. You can't. Umuntu na ugamba lukubi tindi kurungi ndeka nuganangwa. Mira parlado msujo kuba nugumara gana ugamba kare later. Sahi, no. So, be careful. In that kind of scenario, you could be dealing with a person who has Ebola, a hemorrhagic fever. And once you grab it, man, I can't guarantee life. So that's it. Ebola, you die in most cases, you die of dehydration because you lose a lot of fluids. You diarrhea blood, you sweat, you do everything. And in most cases, you die because you lose a lot of fluids. That is how death occurs through Ebola. Now, since this Ebola is quite common in our continent, in our country, Uganda, I think it falls under what we want to discuss today. Why are we dying young? We're dying young. 43.9% of Ugandans are 14 years and below. 43.9% of Ugandans are 14 years of age and below. 53% of Ugandans are between 15 years and 64 years of age. Only 2.15%, 2% decimals, like I said, disturb many of us. Only 2% are above 65 years of age. That is scary. That is scary. We are dying young. But remember, you Christians have always told us that the Bible is clear, that God made an agreement with us. He made a promise. And we think this man cannot in any way, cannot default on his promise, that we will always die when we are above 70 years. That unless you have transgressed or sinned against him, that's when you may die below 70 years. But what we know for sure is that we have to die when we are above 70 years of age. So majority of us are dying young. Why is it that God calls us Africans or Ugandans when we are young? It should be a question. It should be a question we all have to answer. But so many things this can be attributed to so many things. I'll give you an example of road traffic accidents. Let me just sample that. Road traffic accidents. 13 Ugandans die every day. Every day, 13 Ugandans die due to road traffic accidents. On average, you have 80 people dying per week. That is 20 times higher than the percentage than the death due to road carnage in Norway. Now, I don't have a car. Never be loud until I have a car. I don't have a car. But, so I travel. I travel. But when I'm traveling, in most cases I use border guys. When you are with a border man and you tell him to slow down, what he tells you is that on any day, we are going to die. That there is someone going to call you. Whether you're ready, whether you're not ready, whether you're driving well, whether you're not driving well, this person is going to call you and you have to die. I think that is what Dr. Ian Clark, Professor Ian Clark was saying. We are so fatalistic. Fatalistic means we believe a lot in fate about death. We believe that it is us to die. So why can't this accident, why can this be the same thing in America? Why is God interested in calling 13 Ugandans every day through road carnage? Why can't God call 13 Americans every day? Why can't God call 13 Egyptians every day due to road carnage? Why can't God call 13 British every day due to road carnage? But look, when you're going to board a car or a border, majority of us don't forget to pray. We all pray. God, give me a safe journey. But look, very few of us remember to tell the border man or the taxi driver, drive slowly. Majority of us forget to ask them, do you have a driving permit? Majority of us forget to caution them, don't overload, don't overspeed. Majority of us forget to ask, are you drunk? Are you in a normal mental state? But we think by forgetting all that and then calling upon an invisible power that we may in any way secure our lives. That may be, just maybe, God is going to do a miracle. So in that, if your driver is overspeeding, if your driver has overloaded, if your driver does not know how to drive, if your driver is drunk, if you pray, you're going to have a miracle and God will save you from an accident. Let us not be fatalistic about death. This is what I have posed, what the producer has put there as a question on that screen was first put by Mr. Museveni, the president, when Olanya died. When Olanya, the Speaker of Parliament, died, Mr. Museveni put a question. Why does God call Africans or Ugandans when they are young? We have what we call lifestyle diseases. Lifestyle diseases are those diseases which can be controlled by just our ways of life. You could be there and someone has told you that peptic ulcer disease does not heal. Ulcers tizikira. Majority of us have heard such kind of stories. You will find a person who has taken drugs for peptic ulcer disease for more than years. For more than years, I don't know that's good English, but for so many years. And man, we say God is going to call us when he feels like. But can't you first drive well? Can't you first have the driving permit? Can't you first drive at a good speed? Can't you first say that you're not overloaded? Can't you first ask whether the automobile you are riding or driving is in a good mechanical condition? I've been using the Fort Portal Hoima Highway. You board a taxi is overloaded, it is overspeeding, it is not in a good mechanical condition, and it remains unclear as to whether the driver has a driving permit or not. It is also not clear whether or not, you're going to find traffic policemen on the road. And if at all you find them there, do you know what they will do? They'll just get a 5K. The driver will just take a 5K, just compress it somehow and throw it somewhere there on the road. And the traffic policeman will come and pick it up. And then the man rides again. So this car is expected to reach Hoima safely. Day in, day out, day in, day out, week in, week out, week in, week out. It simply doesn't work that way. It simply doesn't work that way. Guys, let us not be fatalistic about death. To say that death is simply, or our lives are simply in God's hands, that is not true. There are many things we have to do about our own lives, to protect our own lives, and jealously. This is the only life we have on earth. By the way, scientists themselves have not found any other place where you can live other than this planet under the Milky Way. So when you are going to board a border, when you are going to board a bus, a taxi, you can make your prayer. I'm not going to stop you from praying. That would be that will border on entitlement on my side. But before or immediately after your prayer, ask your driver or your border rider of these questions. Do you have a permit? Are you allowed to ride or drive this automobile? Are you going to drive at a speed that is recommended? Are you going to overload? Is your automobile in a good mechanical condition? Then also task the government, task your government, that's why you vote for them, task them to ensure that road traffic police is in positions, is on every highway or every road to ensure that discipline on traffic is ensured by all traffic users. Like I told you, it cannot be that Uganda has road carnage, death due to road carnage, that is 20 times that of Norway. And if you go to those countries and you tell them that 20 people are dying every day due to road carnage, they will laugh at you. They will laugh at you. They've not heard of that. They don't know it. These are lifestyle causes of death. And as human beings, as Ugandans, we must be careful about our lives. There is no such a person, whether supernatural or not, who is responsible for your health more than you yourself are. Now, look at death. We normally feel like death is okay because we are sure we are going to some place called heaven. But look, I have seen so many people die. I have been in a hospital ward. I have been in hospital wards, actually not just a ward, but hospital wards. When someone is going to die, you really see someone who has lost a battle. Death comes with a lot of pain. That pain, in my own view, is a sign that someone is fighting for their life. Otherwise, death would be coming as something like a vacation or something, and you just disappear and go to that paradise. But the fact that you have to first suffer to go to that paradise, to me it means death is not something you're always ready for. Everybody on their deathbed will always hope for the last chance. If you find anyone, whether even a priest, even right now Pope Francis is in hospital. Pope Francis, you're discussing the biggest advocate of heaven or the heavenly paradise. But he wants to conserve his life on earth. I'm not mocking the Holy Father. I am not mocking him. Catholics, forgive me. I'm just trying to make a point. That life on earth is sweet. And perhaps it's the only life we know. Perhaps, or most likely, this is the only life we know. Coincidentally, scientists have not discovered any other planet that can support life just like this planet does. So, let us fight for our health. Let us take care of our health. Majority of us don't exercise. Majority of us eat very, very badly. I will not go into the specifics of how you eat. That could be another day. We started later and time will not allow. But majority of us do not care what we eat and what it will do to us or to our bodies. We simply eat. We simply eat. Thinking someone high above is going to take care of us. Not really. Not really. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. That is why I had to ask, why does God call Africans or Ugandans while they're still young? Why can't God call Americans? In Japan, you have 71,000 people who are above 100 years of age. Japan has 71,000, around emitwaro musanju, abaliguye myaka 10. Move around Fort Potro. Move around Fort Potro here. And look for how many people are above 100 years of age. Look into your whole clan, look into your everything. So, there are so many things as to why we are dying young. But one of them is us ourselves. We are too fatalistic about death. We believe there is something that which we cannot control, that is there to control our health or our lives. The author. But either we assume about something that does not exist, or we overrate its role in our lives. That's the implication. Because like I told you, you have 19 mothers dying every day due to pregnancy-related conditions. 19 mothers dying every day due to pregnancy-related conditions should be worrying. Recently around town here, someone died because she had a fetal intrauterine fetal death. That is the first condition we discussed on this show here. These are deaths that can be prevented. Almost 80% of the deaths here can be prevented. We don't want to see that. Like I've told you, look at yourself when you're going to board a car, a bus, a taxi, or a boda. What do you do? What do you ensure first before you board? Before you put your bum down the seat of that car, down the seat of that bus, down the seat of that boda. What do you first do? What do you question? Do you ask any questions? Does it bother you that when you're going on that road, all the traffic police officer does is to get like a 5K from the taxi driver? Do you know whose life is in danger? Do you know whose life is at risk? It is yours. It is yours. Let me tell you, like I told you, what they tell you that death brings, fatalizing death, being fatalistic about death, is just something that comes, I think, to just mitigate or alleviate or lessen your fears about death. But death remains real, a real phenomenon that all of us are going to face. I agree. But at what stage of life? And is it really true that we don't have control over this? Is it really true that we cannot do something to live longer? Ask anyone. Ask just anyone you find on the road. How many times have they tested their blood pressure? How many times have you tested for your sugars? How many times have you screened for prostate cancer? How many times have you screened for breast cancer? How many times have you screened for cervical cancer? How many times? And if you do not screen, who should screen now? Who should screen now? Someone said we don't. But now, who should screen? So, the point is, we cannot continue being fatalistic about death. This is something we can do something about. It is not true that our lives are not in our control entirely. No. Why should you treat peptic ulcer disease for 1 year when people are healing cancers? Recently, the Princess of Wales, the daughter-in-law of King Charles, the King of England, was diagnosed of a cancer, and within a minute she went to hospital and she was healed. She went back to her ways of life. But here someone is treating a UTI for 1 year to a point of killing her. That's being too unserious as a country, as a society. We cannot continue with that sort of life. We cannot continue, I want to repeat it, we cannot continue living that kind of life. It is not true it's only Ugandans who are supposed to die in those numbers while giving birth. 19 mothers die while giving birth every day in the whole country. It doesn't happen in Germany, it doesn't happen in Spain, it doesn't happen in Russia, it doesn't happen in America, it only happens in Uganda and Africa. So God likes calling us only? He only loves us so much? Is he too lonely? He's too alone and only Africans can give him company? Oh my God, no. Don't fall for that crap. Don't fall for that crap. Last week I was telling you, you have 39 million people living with HIV worldwide, and 75% of that population is in sub-Saharan Africa. America has a population of 333 million people. Only 1.2 have HIV. Uganda has a population of 46 million people and 1.49 million have HIV. So all these factors come in. Do we have so many cars, more than the United States, more than Europe? Are our cars the most speedy? But the thing is only one. Our drivers are the most reckless. Passengers are the most unconcerned. They don't care. You passengers, you don't care. You just board the car anyhow. Traffic police on the road is almost like it's not there. Exercise, we don't want to care. There are so many people who justify taking unboiled water from the waves. They tell me that taking unboiled water, not washing hands. Everywhere you move around, people are shaking hands. Are they washed? That's a different question. Everywhere you go on the road, people are shaking hands, people are hugging, people are kissing all over the place. Are the hands clean? No. Are they washed? No. So, why does God call Africans when they're still young? There is a challenge. We have a very, very weak healthcare system that is not managed better. That is a fault of our government. I understand and I agree. We have to hold this government accountable for that because they have really, really defaulted on it. But also, us as citizens, can we do something? Why should 16 people, 20 people sit in a taxi and you don't complain that we are being overloaded? Why should you go to work every day with that pain that you're always procrastinating about? You don't want to go and check it. You don't want to ask a doctor. You don't want to do anything about it. You continue talking about it every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. And you do nothing about it. Only when you reach a hospital and they tell you, no, this is a cancer of the stomach. It's not peptic ulcers like you thought. That happens after you've taken dozens of omeprazole. That happens after you've taken dozens of syrups, antacid syrups and stuff like that. It's really, really, really not a good thing. It's really, really, really not a good thing. Causes of death are many. Some are natural, accidental, so many of them. But we have something we can do. We have something we can do to live longer. It's not good, it's not productive, it disturbs and hampers development of a society. If people die at 50, at 40, at 30, it is not a good thing. Look at your diet, look at your physical exercise, look, I want to say it in bold and capital letters, look at your mental health. 3 things. Look at your diet, look at your physical exercise, look at your mental health. Those are very key things to look at if you're going to deal with diseases like peptic ulcer disease, typhoid, diabetes mellitus, hypertension, and so many cancers. Exercise more frequently. Ensure you have a very well mental well-being. Yes. And ensure you do regular physical or medical checkups. Check your body. I'm not saying be a hypochondriac like women. Women always feign illnesses. You find she's not sick, she's on a cannula there and then. I will come here and talk about drug abuse or irrational drug use. When someone is just coughing, cannula. They go to the hospital, within a minute, 1 parcel in urine, cannula. there is that common drug of viewers, safe. You know? So, but as I conclude this topic of why are we dying young, let's look at those things very clearly. Let's be really pragmatic. Pragmatic, I mean practical. Be practical. Be practical and proactive. Take a personal initiative to protect your life jealously. Chances are high this is the only life you have. Like I have told you, even priests who talk about life after here on earth, they go to hospital and look for health. Even pastors who are telling you there is a heaven, if you told him you're going to die tomorrow, he would cry. That is not something you should take lightly. It is instinctive. We are not sure about where we are going after we've left this planet. We don't know. None of us is sure. I don't want to sound atheistic, but that is the truth. Right now, I've told you Pope Francis is in hospital. He has been in hospital being treated for respiratory infection. The pontiff cannot say, let me go and meet my predecessor, Pope Peter or Jesus Christ, my Lord. No. He wants to be protected when he still lives here. When you must have heard stories of people saying, oh, I survived death, Thanksgiving is organized. No, why do you celebrate for surviving death? Why? Why can't you say, I missed a chance of going to the paradise? Why can't you feel sad that I missed my chance to go and meet God? But you instead organize a Thanksgiving because you've been given a chance, because you've landed another chance to live. Man, death, at the rate it is occurring in Uganda, at the rate it is occurring in Africa at large, is scary, and we must do something about it. Everyone must take a personal initiative to protect your life. Feed well, exercise, ensure safe practices, safe sex. Have that condom on, my friend. If you can, but you should have that safe sex on. I mean, it is normal. It is normal. Have a personal initiative, be proactive, and guard your life jealously. Chances are high this is the only life you may have. This is the only life you may ever live. Because majority of us, the behavior of a person who is meeting his death, if you have met any, is a behavior of a person who has lost their only possession they have had. When everybody is on their deathbed, you clearly say this someone has lost a battle. If you gave them a chance to say this is another one chance, they would say, oh yeah, thank you so much. That's why majority of you do a Thanksgiving. When you recuperate successfully from illness, when you survive an attack of thieves by some enemies, when you survive an accident, you go and organize a Thanksgiving. You say, oh yeah, I've made it. You have survived death. But you don't feel sad because you've missed out on a chance to go to the paradise, no? And if heaven was really something to motivate us, there would be a stampede on that road to heaven. All of us would be applying for death. Right now we should be applying for death. Let me go and live this banal life on earth. If heaven was something real that we all should aim to, to go and occupy, we would be running to go to heaven. My God, what am I doing here? If there is a paradise where I'm not going to be broke, where I'm not going to lack what to eat, where I'm not going to need a border amount to eat my money, where I'm not going to spend money on alcohol, where I'm not going to spend money to put on, my God. There would be a stampede on that gate. Because this is the only life we have, and the only life we are assured of. It is abnormal, like I said. The percentages are very, very terrible. 13 Ugandans die every day due to road carnage. That is scary. 19 mothers dying every day due to road carnage. 14 children being killed by malaria every day. 14 children being killed by malaria every day. That should be scary. It doesn't happen in Europe, it doesn't happen in Americas, it doesn't happen in Britain, it doesn't happen in Asia, it happens in Africa, it happens in Uganda. And we have normalized it to think it's normal. No. That cannot make sense. Yeah, it's been the Health Sermon, another episode, and today, on this day, the 22nd of February 2025, and my name is Aral Rejumba, your presenter. And of course, we shall not go beyond this point. We apologize for beginning late, but at least we've tried to give you the badly needed information that you needed to know about why we are dying young. That is just a sneak peek into that. The conversation continues next week, same station. I am Aral Rejumba. See you again.
Thought TV. Stay entertained.